This looks good.
It looks good. I like it. Happy Monday. Welcome to Soul Seekers TV, everybody.
Can you believe we're in the second week of December?
No, I cannot. Can you believe it's like a new decade in a few weeks?
No, I can't.
I'm so excited, actually. It's like, I'm ready for that next decade.
One of my favorite like little memes that I've seen lately is like, can you believe that the year 2000 was 20 years ago when like 1980 was 20 years ago?
I know now when I start to feel it is when you have to put your birthday in something and you got to put the year. You have to put the year and it's like 1975 used to be really kind of not too bad. And now I'm like, freaking A, man, where's my date? That's when it starts to hit me.
Yeah, he's got to scroll the decades and just watch those decades go by.
Okay, 90s, 80s, holy crap, halfway through 70s, yuck.
I know. But alas, with age comes wisdom. And that is part of what we're talking about today. So, we hope you guys caught our show. On Thursday, we dropped our second episode of Soul Seekers TV. It's on YouTube if you haven't caught it. Subscribe now. It's on youtube.com/Soul Seekers TV. Episode 3 will be airing on Thursday. But in the meantime, today, we wanted to talk a little bit about losing faith in along the way in your journey. And I think that one of the beautiful things about life and one of the beautiful things about like the end of the year, but also in this case, the end of a decade, is that it causes you a lot of reflection and you start looking back and thinking, what have I done? What have I done with my year?
What have I not done?
What have I not done? What have I done with my life? Where do I want to go? And I mean, for me, the end of year always begins around my birthday, which is November. And so like, for me, it's literally a downward spiral of reflection where I'm like, oh my God, I have so much still that I want to do and so much I haven't done. But I also find it's a really good opportunity to look at all the things that you have done and all the things that you have accomplished, because no matter how you feel in this moment in your life, whether you feel like you're where you're at or whether you feel like you have still so much to do, it is important for you to acknowledge how far you've come, because there are plenty of dreams, there were plenty of ideas, there were plenty of situations and challenges that you overcame and that you succeeded where you didn't think you could. So that's really important. And, Linda and I started talking today about our own journeys and kind of about like what happens when you start to feel or question whether or not you're on the right path. So I don't know if Linda, you want to tell a little bit of your story about how the universe sent you a message
exactly
about your path.
I'm going to start with we were looking for something for my daughter, and it required us to dig deep into closet space and under beds and in places we haven't been in a while. And we found a box. And inside that box was one of many journals, because that has been a hobby of mine for most of my life. It is how I have healed. It is how I have grown. It is how I have communicated. In fact, I will also say that I found like 3 letters in the box. One to my father, one to my husband, who was then my boyfriend, and my daughter said, like, did you just write them and keep them, or did you make a copy and send them? Because it was the original letter. And I'm like, I don't know. I probably just wrote them and didn't send them, because that's just a way that I process information. So in doing that, I found a journal from 2001. And it's funny because this was when I was still in the movie business. It was before I started teaching. But it was a reflection of a time in my life, and there have been so many where I questioned where I was on my journey. And I said, dear God, am I where I'm supposed to be? everybody else seems so focused on a goal, and I don't have that. And I know what I want-ish, like I know how I want to feel, but I don't know what journey I want to take to get to that feeling. And so in this journal, I talk about finding a documentary, and I write over and over in here. I found a documentary. It's on humanity and society, and it talks about public education. And I think I'd be really good at public education. And I think I want to make a documentary of my own and talk about, you know, the world. And I want to write a book, and I want the book to reflect my journey. So basically, it's an outline of every single thing I have done or am doing. So I went into public education. I was a elementary school teacher for 13 years. Trish and I are working on the show. I am writing a book. And it's like I was saying to Trish, holy crap. Like, is it possible to be on the journey, on the path, and not know you're on it? Like, could you be on the yellow brick road and not know you're on the yellow brick road? Is that possible? Because clearly, in order for me to write this stuff in 2001 and then to be reflecting back on it in 2019, almost 2020, and to see, like, yeah, it took a very long time. Maybe it could have taken less time, or maybe not. Maybe this was divine timing, but it doesn't matter, because either way, to know that I planted seeds in 2001 and that fruit is growing and I'm doing it, is like a really big deal, especially coming into a new decade. Like, it would have been hard to read this and not be in this space, but that's not what happened. I read this book with my family by my side, and, you know, got to see my daughter's excitement when I was like, oh, I'm doing that. I've done that. I'm doing that. I think I've been on the path all along. And there were so many times where I did lose faith. There were so many times where I was really sad and depressed. And there were so many times where I envied other people and their path, and I envied their journey, because I thought they were doing it right. They were doing it faster. They were doing it better. But today and yesterday, you know, I got to look at my own and stand in my own journey. Hi, Carrie. So long since I haven't talked to you. I'm so glad you're here. What's the book? Well, I'm writing it. There's no book yet, but I'm writing a book. And the book is kind of like my journey from being lost or feeling lost and how I found myself. I love you, mommy text from my daughter. All is well in the world. But it's so easy to believe that you're lost. And I think it warrants once in a while to take inventory and say, you know, like, maybe this is just the process of getting to everything I want and everything I desire.
Yeah. And I think it's important because on any journey, like sometimes, and it happens if you're on a anybody who's been on a road trip, like you're in the car, the GPS says you're in the right place, but you're kind of looking around and you're like, is it? And like, I've done this before where I'll literally call up a different map on a different GPS on the phone to make sure that I'm actually in the right place. Like, let's see, I'm on Waze, but will Google say the same thing? Or will, like, whatever Apple map app that I have, like, will that say that I'm still in the right direction? Because it's easy to feel like you're not in the right place. It's easy to feel displaced when you're in a place that you've never been, and when you're in a place that nobody that you have contact with has been in that place, right? Like your friends or your family or people you've grown up with or people who you've trusted all your life and have been your litmus test in your own validation or your own success. If they don't recognize where you are and they say, I don't understand this, it's easy to feel like you're on the right path. But you have to connect with yourself on the inside and check in with yourself and be like, does this bring me joy? Do you know, is what I'm doing, does it feel inspiring? Do I want to do this? And if that's not your answer, then you have to figure out for yourself what is that answer for you. But if you're like, no, I really want to do this, and you know, Linda and I use Soul Seekers as an example because it's like, you know, is Soul Seekers going to give us the result that we ultimately want? Neither one of us knows. But it's like, am I having fun? Check. You know, are we having fun together? Check. Awesome. That's the only thing that we have control over. Is it always going to be fun? Is every moment going to be fun? Well, no, because sometimes things are going to come up that you need to deal with, or you need to address, or there are little challenges that need you to, you know, expand on. So is it always like, you know, rainbows and unicorns? Well, of course not. But it's like, when you're in the journey, be like, you know, but I want to be on this journey, and I want to be on this journey with you. And I this feels really good right now. Then you stay on your path. That's where you have to check in with yourself. It's like, just know that you will feel lost, even if you are in the right place. You will lose faith sometimes and be like, am I making the right choice? Because you may not have examples of people making the same choices as you in your life. But that doesn't mean that your choices are wrong. It just means that your choices are different. And it's important to embrace your choices, just as it's important to embrace other people's choices. Like, you know, you may have a friend who makes completely different choices from you, and you can still love and embrace them for those choices.
Absolutely.
You know, and be like, I love you and I love your choices, but they're not for me.
Well, yeah. And you're on your journey and I'm on mine. Carrie, I am so sorry. I read your message that you lost your husband last year.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I love you. I see you. I'm here. And we will try and inspire you any way that we can, but also know that we're here to talk and to share and to be human with. So thank you for being here. And what I want to say too, and I want to add to your story, to what you're saying, Trish, is like, when I think back to what I've lost, when I have felt lost, my greatest feeling of like, where am I and why am I feeling so lost, has come from not tapping in to my, you know, it's okay to have responsibility. It's okay to have roles to play. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a sister. We all have that. But when you lose track of your needs and desires and what is calling you, screaming like, Linda, and, you know, I had that in my 20s, and then now I'm like, oh, I'm found again. Where did my 30s go, and why did I feel lost for so much of that? And it's because for so much of that time, I ignored it. I pushed it away. I said I didn't have time for it. It's like anything. You don't feed it and you starve it, right? And now that I'm feeding my soul, not just my body, although that is happening too. But when you feed your soul, when you give attention to the things and the parts of you that light you up and set you on fire, you can't control the fire. It just like, you know, it's like you give it that oxygen it needs, and, you know, but when you suck all the air out of it, then it dies. And so when your inspiration dies, when your passion dies, when you don't see the things that make you feel that way in life, then it's easy to feel lost. But it's not that you're on the wrong journey. It's just that on that journey, you have lost sight of things that make you happy because you're giving all of it away. You're shutting your power down, or you're giving your power to others. And what I've learned on this is that, you know, my kids need me as a passionate mom, as an inspired mom. So if I use them as the excuse to not give those parts of me to myself, then I'm actually showing up less than I am when I give them all of the parts of me, you know. And when I make myself happy, then I've now fueled my children. When I put my oxygen mask on first, I now can resuscitate my kids, give them the oxygen that they need. I lose sight of that very often. And I need to be reminded.
It's easy to lose sight of that, and it's easy to lose sight of our journey. So we want to just appeal to you if you're listening to this and this connects with
Hi,
you.
Melinda.
Hey, Melinda. If this connects with you and you're either feeling lost or you want to share your own found story and how you sort of reconnected with yourself or your own soul-seeking journey, we'd love to hear from you. You can either comment on any of our, social media, or you can go onto YouTube and comment there, or send us an email. We would love to hear from you because this is an important topic for us. It's something we're really passionate about, and we want to hear, how are you, navigating your own loss of faith or your own journey in finding who you are and what your purpose is, and or whether or not that's even something that you think about. Maybe you're like, I just like to go along and do my thing, and I don't really think too much about that.
And that's cool too.
That's
Yeah.
totally cool too. So as we wrap up, we just want to give another reminder that our show is airing on Thursday at 11 o'clock on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/soulseekerstv. We would love for you to subscribe and sign up for notifications if you haven't already, and share it and let us know what you think.
Thank you so much for watching and being here, everybody.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.